Hi everyone, I'm Jordan Rolfus from Beagle Rampant Productions, and this is actually the outside of my house. Yes, I'm going to finally give you guys that hometown vlog that I have been promising for so long. Show you some of the places I like to go to in my local suburb of North College Hill, Ohio, just on the outskirts of Cincinnati. If you go that away, kind of to the south there, you'll run right into Cincinnati. There are some kind of lousy apartment complexes there, so you know, you may not want to hang out in those apartment complexes. There's been some heroin dealings and some murders going on there, so you probably don't want to hang out there too much. But that's right on the outskirt of Cincinnati, so technically, you know, you mail a letter to me and address it to Cincinnati, I'll get it, but, you know, by and large, I live in an area called North College Hill, so I can't vote for any Cincinnati politician, and I cannot, our police force is North College Hill, not Cincinnati. All sorts of loud craziness going on today. And yeah, the thing with North College Hill, nobody likes to keep their dogs on leashes, so we might get chased a couple of times, but yeah, I'll show you guys around. That's a fire lane, you can't park there, but one thing that I love, and it's kind of hard to hear, but is this thing right here, this like electrical box. That nice hum, very hard to hear. People are working out on their yards today. It's a very beautiful day, but yeah, I'll go ahead, toss up a theme song, and show you some of the places I like to hang out here in my hometown hood of North College Hill. Alright, so this area is now an apartment complex. It used to be a little convenience shop, a pony keg. Very close to my house, right on the same block, just around the corner here. This street here is called Savannah Avenue, and it's really not safe to go down really any time of the day. You're good here, but there are some bars a little further up there, and I can't really recommend it at any time of the day. It just isn't safe. So, yeah, avoid the bars on Savannah Avenue. It just is not too safe to visit. And, yeah, we got all the fun, irregular traffic patterns for North College Hill. So, I'm going to go ahead and march down this way. Alright, so we're getting ready to cross Hamilton Avenue, and we'll go around via Goodman. This, wait. You can hear the cross lights talk at you because this area has the Clover Nook Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. So to sort of assist them, they have audio guides for these streetlights letting you know if it's safe to cross or not. Yeah, so that's been really fun. The Dollar General here used to be an IGA, and it was much larger. They got rid of, like, I don't know, half of it. And then back there, that blue building, that's now a gym. It used to be the Colonial Racket Club, so that's good times. And I wonder how the audio's coming through on this. I bet it's probably not too terribly good. A lot of people in this neighborhood don't like to use mufflers, so yeah, there's a local Union and Savings Bank. That's always a good time. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. You know, if that's something you're into. We got a local dry cleaner, which is pretty cool. And the Save-A-Lot food store here. That used to be Walgreens. Walgreens moved on up the road. We'll run by Walgreens in a little bit. Won't buy anything today, though. Or I might, you never know. And this right here is the Greater Grace Christian Ministry Church. And that tiny little building right there that you can see kind of in the center of the frame, that is where we would go to vote. Nowadays, we sort of do the vote by mail thing because there were some instances where they tried to tell us, oh, a passport is not a valid voting ID. But it is. If you want to vote in the United States and you have a valid U.S. passport, that should be enough to let you vote. And it wasn't enough to convince them. We could have gotten in there and said, hey, you're trying to disenfranchise us or whatever, but we were like, why fight it? And so I think we did the vote by mail thing, and it was no problem. It was a Squeak-Doo who they were messing with there, but, it's just absurd, Like, come on, man. I swear, a passport, it's good enough to get you in the country, but it's not good enough to vote in this small little election thing here, so... Well, what can you do, We do the vote by mail thing, and it's kind of cool to think, like, your little church or voting precinct or whatever, you can vote for, people who will decide the fate of the country and sometimes the fate of the world, whatever the American president decides to do has global consequences, Over here we got Fifth Third Bank. So if you've ever been to Cincinnati and you're wondering, well, that's a stupid name for a bank. Well, back in the day, we had the Fifth Bank and we had the Third Bank. And the banks decided, let's go ahead and merge. And the Fifth Bank had more business than the Third Bank, so we just call it the Fifth Third Bank. And they use that now as kind of a fun advertising thing. They're 166% better than the competition, so good for them. This is the United Dairy Farmer, a local Cincinnati area convenience chain. I mentioned that in the Google Maps video, and it ain't no good. I really don't think they've ever spoken to me, actually, so they're pretty lame. And let's see, continuing on Hamilton, we are going to go ahead and make a right turn onto this little street called Goodman Avenue. And right there is the Penn Station. If you wanted to eat at this Penn Station, do so in the afternoon, not in the evening, because the service is god-awful in the evening. If you move along through here, this nice little area here, let me make sure there's no, like, drug addicts or anything who want to mug me. So, this area was where Isaac Wise, one of the founders of Reform Judaism in America, had his farm. So North College Hill was kind of, in a small way, started by one of the leading founders of Reform Judaism in the United States. So, and this was the location of where his farm used to be. And you go through here. It's pretty nice. Sometimes, though, like, you'll get people, just sitting here asking you for money and stuff, and, I don't want to have to deal with that nonsense, Got some check cashing places. That's always a good time. This right here is Frickers. It's a little sports bar, so if you're into sports bars, it's Frickers. Got a Family Dollar over there. That used to be a Lens Crafters, a very nice Lens Crafters. I really enjoyed that Lens Crafters location, but unfortunately they closed. Now it's a Family Dollar. I don't go in there. Let's see. We got Super Laundry. This particular building here for the Super Laundry is relatively new. Probably within the past, I'm going to say, 15, 18 years or so. And right next to it, in that little empty area, was Stark Pharmacy. And they were fun because they were a local pharmacy, and they had a delivery service. So that was a good time. And let's see here. Over here is the local Frisch's. If you've ever been to Cincinnati, Frisch's specializes in mediocre service, high-priced food of a mediocre quality. So, they do have good tartar sauce, though. So, like, you order a Frisch's Big Boy, you know, Big Boy is kind of a national thing, but, like, a Cincinnati Big Boy implies really good tartar sauce. So, that's good. Yeah, the Frisch's tartar sauce is really good, and they have good sundaes. But other than that, there's really no point in Frisch's. It's very meh food. They have an okay enough breakfast bar, but also, like, you never know, like, breakfast bar, you don't know how long that stuff is sat out there, so, yeah. Over here, to my right, we have a fitness center. This used to be a really nice flower and garden shop, and mufflers. Nobody believes in mufflers. And over here is the most dangerous and one of the worst places you could go in North College Hill, the North College Hill Car Wash. This is where my mother was attacked and held at knife point. She bent and broke the guy's knife blade, I believe, and we don't know if she bit his finger off or if she just did a lot of damage to his finger, but, like, he had his hand over her mouth and she bit down. We think maybe she did not bite the finger off, but we can't be entirely certain. And the police have yet to capture the guy. This happened in January of 2018, and the suspect still remains at large. So this place, it's horrible. There's a sign on it, car wash for sale. As far as I'm concerned, it can just rot forever in the pit of despair and the dark void. What an evil, horrible place. Like, what kind of a nasty monster would do such a thing, you know? Over here to my right, we've got Liberty Dialysis, if the camera wants to focus. Used to be a Blockbuster, and now it's dialysis services. Right next to it used to be a Big Lots. The Big Lots was an addendum to the old Thriftway, which is now Rose's. Rose's, I think it's like a South Carolina retail chain, but it's now moved up here. And I gotta tell you, Thriftway was awesome, man. I loved me some Thriftway. Alright, so over here we have the old Clovernook Elementary School, and this is currently the North College Hill City Center. This is City Hall. You no longer pay your taxes here. You go to ritaohio.com and pay your taxes there. And, you know, it's like, for the amount of taxes I pay to live here, you know, and the services I get, but what can you do? This is where all the magic of city council happens here in North College Hill. We are a disabled American veterans city, so I don't actually understand what that entitles us to, like what that designation means and what we do as opposed to other cities, but yeah, you can see we're a DAV city, and you know, of course I go ahead and salute all of those who fight for our protection, and those retired from the service, and those who gave their ultimate sacrifice for our safety and security, and for our allies as well, anyone who takes up the call for freedom, man, you know. But you can kind of see a sign on the other end saying Pies Park, so we're going to go ahead and enter Pies Park, and I'll show you a little bit of one of my favorite places to pray and hang out in. Alrighty everyone, and this right here is Pies Park, one of my favorite places to come and hang out, look at some nature, do some praying, you know. There's a nice little path that leads to this area called the North Creek Fields, which I'll show you in just a little bit. And you can head through the path. There's a porta potty if you need a porta potty. But you head through this path. You can also enter some wooded areas in there. Be careful though, because there have been coyote sightings here, so you know, you won't want to, you know, go and pet the crazy coyote. But we'll walk down this beautiful path, and I will see you guys once we hit the end of the path and reach the North Creek Fields. Yeah, so this is kind of what the path looks like. I'm not going to show you all of the path because, you know, pretty much is this, but it's very beautiful. But in terms of like floral variety, yeah, you probably ain't going to see a whole lot. I love walking down it, but this video has already gone on really long, and I'm not even really halfway done, so I'll talk to you guys once we hit the North Creek Fields. Alrighty everyone, these are the North Creek Fields, and I probably don't want to play too much baseball here because, let's put it in perspective, like to show you how high the grass is like right now. So like I'm in the grass now, and like it practically comes up to my knee. So yeah, not the best thing. I'm gonna hop out of the crazy grass here. They have not tended to this at all, and it really makes me wonder like what future this field has. Sometimes the high school and stuff would use it for like baseball practice or whatever, but yeah, I just don't know. So over there down the path, if you go through the wooded area, you'll hit the Clover Nook Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. I'm not going to go through that route. I'm going to go the long way around the block, but I will check back with you guys once I hit there, and I'll show you some kind of interesting stuff in that area. But yeah, this is the North Creek Fields, and used to love sitting on the bleachers just looking at the beauty, saying some prayers. Now I just gotta stand and, well, look at the insanely tall grass and wonder if a wild Pokemon is going to jump out at me. Alright, so on my way to the Carey Cottage from the North Creek Fields, obviously I didn't want to enter the back way because the Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired doesn't really want you doing that, but this is a Burger King. If you like horrible food and horrible service, go ahead and do Burger King. I mean, I don't know... It's one of those things, man, like Burger King, I will only eat there if, like, there is no other option, and even then, I gotta be convinced to eat it. Like, fasting can be good for you, you know? Like, Burger King is such an awful... They're an awful company. Their food is terrible. They're so, like, nasty. Their social media, it's really a cesspool. Why are all these companies, why do they have to be so horrible on social media? Like, you know, is the world so good and pure that we have such allowance for awful customer service on social media? But be that as it may, this right here is the old Hollywood Video. Yay! I rented all sorts of good stuff at Hollywood Video. And right next to it is Game Crazy. Oh yeah. So you know how Blockbuster had Game Rush? Our Blockbuster never really had the Game Rush, but our Hollywood Video did have the Game Crazy, and I bought all sorts of awesome things from the local Game Crazy. That was like one of the best things, going to Game Crazy and getting those NES games for like $2, $3, $5, you know. That was a good time. But now, like, retro gaming collecting has gotten so out of hand, you know, like it's gotten so absurd. People are charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars for retro things. So my advice, go ahead, emulate, you know. You're not stealing from the people who made the game because they aren't getting money for something out of print 20 years ago. So go ahead, emulate, and stick it to the eBay scalpers. But back in the day, man, Game Crazy was where you go to get your retro game deals. Alright everyone, so here we are at the Clover Nook Center for the Blind and the Visually Impaired. On the campus of the Clover Nook Center, we have the historic Carey Cottage, built in 1832, and it housed the Carey sisters, Alice and Phoebe, profound poets of the late 19th, mid-19th century. They were actually born up the road here. If you keep going down this road, you'll hit Kroger, Perkins, horrible service at that Perkins, and you'll eventually hit Mount Healthy. The Carey sisters were technically born in Mount Healthy, but they lived their childhood primarily in here, so they would have been about 8 years old. Phoebe, I believe, was the younger one, so she would have been about 8 years old when they moved in here. This cottage is purportedly haunted. I've never seen anything, though. You can call and make an appointment to tour this if you were so inclined, but yeah, they don't really like talking about the spirits, so that kind of tells me maybe there is something going on, because, like, if someone's like, oh, you know, I really don't want to talk about it, that's kind of an indicator, you know. Well, I wonder why that could be. This right here is the fun St. Paul United Church of Christ. And all sorts of people not believing in mufflers when I'm trying to record. And they have free community dinners every Tuesday night. And then if you look over here, let's see if I can't grab a better angle of this. I'm not going to record too terribly much of this, obviously, because some random guy with a camera, that's never a good thing for a high school, but this is, so you can see this building right here. This is the new addition of the North College Hill High School. Now, I did not go to North College Hill High School. I went to LaSalle High School, which is in the western part of the town, an area known as Green Township. I will show you another school I went to in a little bit here. Alright, so here's a better angle of the Art Deco North College Hill High School. And you can see the new wing attached to it from there. And kind of connected to the high school is the old Laboito Cemetery. And we're going to hop in the Laboito Cemetery and take a look around. Alright everyone, so if you remember the early American graveyard preview that I did, sort of the celebrating 100 subscribers, you will remember this place quite well, the Laboito Cemetery. Here we have someone who graffitied his name in on a tombstone, which seems like a really stupid omen, but a lot of the graves here, you would pretty much have to take the crayon and the paper and sort of, you know, scrape on the paper to try to make out what the actual writing is, because a lot of this has mostly faded away. We got some Civil War soldiers buried in this graveyard, and we also have quite a few Revolutionary War soldiers buried here, including Mr. James Keniston here, a patriot of the American Revolution and who was for 5 years an active soldier. He was born in Rye, New Hampshire, August 19th, 1756, and died on March 20th, 1837. And we got Mr. Henry Dietz, another Revolutionary soldier of 76, died August 20th, 1843, in the 90th year of his age. And you'll also notice that there are beautiful poems and epitaphs on the graves here. Mr. Lewis, and wow, his name has almost completely faded from the bottom part of the tombstone there, but Mr. John Lewis, a native of Denmark, we have this delightful poem. This languishing head is at rest. Its thinking and aching are o'er. This quiet, immovable breast is heaved by affliction no more. This heart is no longer the seat of trouble and torturing pain. It ceases to flutter and beat. It never shall flutter again. Such a beautiful sentiment. Sad, but beautiful. And we have this beautifully, intricately carved design here. And as I mentioned in my early American graveyard thing, this is a very busy area. We got Walgreens right there. It's a good Walgreens. A lot of the really cool managers have left to do other things, but you still get really good service. Like, in terms of the Walgreens, while this Walgreens is not really stocked with anything that you actually want, their service, it's kind of like the perfect example of everything a Walgreens should be. Other Walgreens can only aspire to such magnificence. And we got this really beautiful poem here. Why do I sit in silent grief, since in this world there's no relief? I look to God that gave me breath, and triumph in the thoughts of death. My God is full of love and truth. He takes the aged and the youth. He takes them to his arms to rest, that they by him shall all be blessed. So, a beautiful little graveyard, very old, early 19th century, late 18th century. A beautiful graveyard, and yeah, you know, I salute the people who came before me. And would that we could, you know, aspire to the dream that they had for us, you know? Oh, and over here, look, the Christmas lights. They used to have a really cool manger scene in this graveyard, but we lost it. So I don't know. Not like I didn't lose it, the city lost it. How do you lose a manger scene? But be that as it may, over here, Dragon City, very good Chinese restaurant in North College Hill. Great service, great food, really good price. So, you know, I know I've been hating on a lot of things in my neighborhood, but Dragon City is legit, man. So, yeah, we got this beautiful graveyard. I'm going to continue down that road, Galbraith Road, show you where I went to grade school, show you some other fun things and local businesses, and all right, everyone, and this is the police department of North College Hill. City Hall used to be housed in this building as well, but they moved to the old elementary school. Not certain why the flag is at half-mast, though. That's really interesting. I don't know why. And, of course, you hear the loud car stereo, a staple of North College Hill, and my neighbors on my street are particularly bad about it. Like, sometimes the whole house will shake. I mean, you guys have seen my videos where I'm like, oh, I hope the, neighbors aren't being too crazy or whatever. But, yeah, this is the North College Hill Police Department. The police do a good job in North College Hill, you know, yeah, and I mean, they did check up on my mom after she got attacked. I mean, they are looking for the guy. He's just really crazy elusive, and, you know, you can't get, you kind of got to catch someone, like, red-handed, or at least have something of evidence. Like, we had nothing to, like, go on to catch this freak, you know, so they're doing their best. So I do tip my hat off to the North College Hill Police Department, and hopefully we can get some justice for my mom, you know. Like, my mom is such a sweet person, you know, and she doesn't deserve to have that happen to her, and the community doesn't deserve to have that guy running loose, you know. But across the street from the pizzeria, this used to be an old dry cleaner place, but now it's a pizzeria. My dad and sister, Raggy and Squeak Doo, you remember them from some Disney vlogs and from Raggy's presentations. They enjoy this pizza. Mom and I think it's disgusting. So, I mean, it would be good if it wasn't so awful. The service is really good, though, so, like, they are really friendly, but man, that is some bad pizza. And, of course, we got Skyline. It used to be a McDonald's. So Cincinnati has two primary chili places. One is Skyline, one is Gold Star. Gold Star is definitely the better tasting, but it will bother your stomach a little bit. Oh, look, so you guys saw the police go by, and now all of a sudden, siren time, so, yeah, interesting. But yeah, Gold Star's probably better tasting, but it'll bother your stomach. So, if you want good chili, it's not that Skyline is bad. So if you want good chili that probably won't bother your stomach, Skyline is probably your better bet. Alright, so over here you got the Long John Silver's. That's always a fun time during Lent. Very crowded. And over here you have the North College Hill Bakery. Here's some public parking in North College Hill. Good times. Yeah, and this is our esteemed logo here, North College Hill. Fun stuff, man. But continuing on down this road, we're on Galbraith Road right now. Nobody believes in mufflers when you're trying to record a video. Right here we have the Swad Indian restaurant. Oh my god, the food here is so good and the service is so impeccable. God, I love this place. Dad and I are probably gonna eat here Thursday. And yeah, God, I love it. It's so good. Flying Horse and Taj Mahal beer. I hear those are really, really good beers that they serve here. So, yeah, definitely check out Swad Indian Restaurant if you're in the area. We have Pluto's Cafe. It's been all sorts of different little cafes. I've never eaten there, but they never seem to be open. So, who knows what's actually going on with them. And this right here is where I went to grade school, St. Margaret Mary. Now, guys, I hope you're ready for some emo talking. So we'll wander around the campus, explore. This school closed down in 2006. I was the graduating class of 2003, so, you know, kind of close to the end, actually. But we have a statue of Christ with the children, so yeah. So, emo story times. What way shall I go? So, these areas here lead to the junior high classes, so 7th, 8th grade. And in terms of my, childhood development, I was a very slow developer. People can argue I still very much am a slow developer. But, from kindergarten through 6th grade, I was kind of an unholy mess. And, okay, those times weren't too good. Had some pretty bad experiences here at St. Margaret Mary from kindergarten through 6th grade. And then, when I hit 7th and 8th grade here at St. Margaret Mary, right through a lot of these classrooms here that you can see, those were some of the best times of my life. And I really wish I would have, there's so much more I wish I would have, done and, planned and mapped out my life better and just followed what I was feeling then at those happiest moments of my life. When I entered high school, I kind of started perhaps becoming something I wasn't.
Listen up, kid. I don't know why you're in such a hurry, but never stray from yourself.
So, yeah. And I was, following a path that I wasn't sure was me, but I still don't even know who I am now, and, yeah, and maybe I've been feeling this. I turned 30 not too long ago, but, yeah. Over here we get more to the lower grade classes, and again, no one's going to say anything because the school's been closed for, over a decade. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a scientist, but my 3rd grade science teacher was so nasty to me, I had pretty much given up on that ambition. But when I got into 7th and 8th grade, it breathed in a new spark of life to me, and I guess I ignored it throughout much of high school, and now I look at my life and I'm I'm nowhere near where I would like to be, And this area always looked so much bigger when I was a kid, But what can you do? And Yeah, so that's the, now they have like a junior and elementary school connected to the high school. We used to have a pool kind of like right there-ish. And like this area right in front of you here, woo, look at my hand there. This area right in front of us used to be a field where we would go and have our outdoor recess, and yeah. Alright everyone, and we are back home. So I missed a few things that I wanted to cover, but the camera ran out of batteries, and they were only mildly interesting. I mean, some interesting anecdotes, the intersection where we once got into a car wreck, and then another car actually plowed through that convenience store, but they fixed everything, so it's not too terribly interesting from a visual standpoint. So, yeah, I don't consider it a loss, so, we might do other videos of this if you guys thought this was interesting. Let me know down in the comment section below. You guys know you are the greatest fans of any YouTuber on the entire planet. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this got a little emo at times, but you know, been thinking and feeling things. Not necessarily even sadness. I've been like too numb even to be sad, so I don't know what all that could mean, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything that you guys do for me. You guys know you're the best fans of any YouTuber in the world. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Vero at Jorn, Jorn, Vaughn, Von, Beagle, Beagle. And yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know you're the best, and I will catch you guys next time with some other fun videos. Who knows what it'll be that we shall see, but I know I love my fans and y'all are rock stars. Bye!